Welcome to Pod Me If You Can, where we find obscure films and we discuss them. Lloyd, what's on the menu?
For today's episode, I've chosen October Sky, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Laura Dern, and Chris Cooper.
Pardon me if you can. Movie reviews.
Set in 1957 Colwood, West Virginia, in a small struggling mining town, high schooler Homer Hickam Jr., played by Jake Gyllenhaal, sees the Sputnik satellite fly over the night sky and gets inspired to break free of the mining town. With the support of his teacher, played by Laura Dern, he and three of his friends start on a quest to build rockets. Overcoming a poor mining town, a tough father, brilliantly played by Chris Cooper, and a series of misfires, Homer sets out to make his dream a reality. This film is based on a true story and was directed by Joe Johnston, who of course also directed Jumanji, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Rocketeer, and most recently Captain America. October Sky is an extremely beautiful film. Jake Gyllenhaal is perfectly cast in this as a young, hopeful teenager who dreams of working for NASA eventually and escaping the struggling mining town. The town is portrayed with a navy blue color, which only highlights like the harshness of the town, and in a way it makes you admire the small population for their struggles. It's like a cold steel look that embodies the unforgiving harshness of coal mining itself. Laura Dern is wonderful as the inspiring high school teacher who encourages the boys to go on and follow their dreams. And gosh damn Dave, if I had a high school teacher that looked as good as Laura Dern, I don't know how I could get through high school. I just wouldn't be able to concentrate. The casting of the four friends was also really interesting. One in particular was Chris Owen, who of course played the Shermanator in the American Pie series. I love the hardship of his character. Like, he's a nerd of the school that is befriended by Jake Gyllenhaal, and in one touching scene you see that he lives in poverty and you see his shame. He's really in the background in this, but I love it how the film took these small moments to show these characteristics. The other two friends and other characters of the town are given small moments to shine, and I like it how the film included this. I don't want to get too much into that because I don't want to spoil anything. The heart and soul of October Sky is that this is a father and son story. And the father is brilliantly played by Chris Cooper. He is a hard-driving foreman of the coal mines. He commands enormous respect both in the mines and in the town. His blood and sweat is dedicated to the life of his family and the town itself. He wants nothing more than his son Jake Gyllenhaal to follow in his footsteps and become a coal miner. And here, of course, is the conflict. The rocket represents the coming of the modern age, one that will not only take his son away, but also the town itself. There are great details to Chris Cooper's performance. There's a moment where like him and his son are working in the mines and he looks over at his son and you see how proud he is of Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's from a really hard age. This steel Teflon love he has for the town and his determination to keep it alive is only matched by Jake Gyllenhaal's desire to escape. The conflict between the two is one of the most touching and, one of the most brutal I've ever seen in a Hollywood movie. This is one of the greatest films of the 90s. It unfortunately never caught on the video markets or on television. In my opinion, it should have had the same success as Shawshank Redemption. When Shawshank Redemption came out in 1994, it bombed at the cinemas and didn't really catch on until the home video markets and when it was replayed on television. And now it's regarded to be a cult favorite of the 90s, one of the best films of the 90s, and by some and fewer, to be one of the best films ever made. I do believe October Sky should have had the same success. I actually only discovered October Sky by luck. I didn't know too much about it. I just saw Jake Gyllenhaal and I went, I never heard of that movie. This DVD has a small 30-minute documentary on it titled The Rocket Boys, which shows actual locations, actual people, and everything like that, which is really interesting. But the key part about this DVD edition is the audio commentary by Homer Hickam, who goes on. It's a really touching audio commentary. He goes on about the dramatic license the filmmakers used, his relationship with his father. It's really good. So if you're going to get any edition, I highly advise getting this one. October Sky is a very beautiful film. I cried in the movie. I had a great experience. Guys, if you can go get this movie, watch it with your family because it's really good. One of the best films I've ever seen of the 90s.
What's interesting is Jake Gyllenhaal actually manages to look like a young boy, here.
Yeah.
Like, they've got this kind of innocence to him as well. But we obviously know him from Donnie Darko, first of all, so there's a darkness in that character's eyes. But here he's able to be wholesome and almost Disney, at times. As well, I recently saw Nightcrawler, which I loved, and I can't believe he wasn't nominated for anything, actor-wise for that.
Completely
it's a physical
ignored. Yeah.
performance. Yeah, so I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal's going to be choosing really interesting roles in the future, and we're looking forward to seeing him in Into Thin Air, which is the Mount Everest film, which we've talked about on the podcast before.
Just out of curiosity,
good choice.
Dave, how did you watch October Sky? How did you find out about it?
I actually saw it on TV.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
It came out in 1999 and never got a real wide theatrical release, and just never... it's one of these movies that has never really caught on. I hope it gets rediscovered over the years.
Yeah, definitely. But you can find more from us at podmeifyoucan.com.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our podcast at www.podmeifyoucan.com.